Alright, welcome back to my Sorare journey, and we're going to have to drop the tone of this video right from the start, because in this video we're looking at how much money I have lost on Sorare in the last year, and the numbers aren't pretty. But as I explained in my last video, I don't think this is the time to panic. I don't think this is the time to sell your gallery. So let me explain why. We're starting off strong then. The bit the haters will absolutely love: how much money I have lost on this platform. So looking at the deposits then, it says about £20,000. That may seem a little high, and it absolutely is. The reason for that is that, I'm very involved in crypto, so it's not unrare for me to move money into my account and then move it out for a different project. Or there's lots of times where, say, I've topped up to try and win an auction. If I haven't won the auction, I've withdrawn that money straight away because there's no point in it sitting in the account. Otherwise, I will just spend it on someone maybe I didn't want. So that's high. Both of the withdrawals are high. But that gives me, a net cost or a net total deposits maybe of £10,500, which seems reasonable, which seems what I would expect from 2 years on this platform. My balance at the moment, then, what I've got for that £10,000 is £519 and a gallery valuation of £7,000. Together, then, 7,700, leaving me with a net loss for the year of £2,800. So after 2 years of grinding, 2 years of making videos, every week setting my lineups, I've somehow lost money. So that may seem absolutely awful to you, and it probably might be. If we were to be completely honest, there is slight adjustments I need to make upwards because I won a division, I didn't get paid out for it, so that went into my bank account, which I then put back into Sorare. There's also a scenario where, I do lots of giveaways on the channel, and that's inflated, kind of what I've lost because I give it away to people for nothing. So that is, to be accounted for. If you want to be completely precise, it's closer to 2,400. We're going to ignore that for now, but I just wanted to be completely transparent as always. So if we zoom out, right, if we go to the last 8, 7 months, whatever it is in August, that was the peak. That was the peak high. And people are seeing these prices compared to these prices. And I understand the pain, right? Let me go through my numbers. The 11th of August 2022, we had a net deposit of £6,200 and a gallery value, including the balance on the account, of about £25,000. And please take every single number you see in this video with a pinch of salt because, if everyone's to sell at the same time, you can't get that value out. Even just paying like transaction fees and trying to find a buyer for your cards, by that time the prices have moved differently. All these different factors, it is completely unrealized. It is completely almost made up to a point. There is a pinch of salt to be had. Anyway, the profit and loss would make that £18,800. So in that 7 to 8 month time period, I lost 115%. I went from a profit to a loss. And there'll be plenty of people in this scenario. And at the bottom here, my reward winning lineups, just to show you that, I consider myself quite a reasonably good player at this game. I have a 20% reward winning lineups, and that's not a perfect metric by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm trying to show that even as a good player, it's very hard to avoid this downturn. It's affected absolutely everyone. So this is my scenario. I can only speak about my scenario, but there is players that will be far worse out there. And I always speak about the importance of zooming out in these types of situations, because if we're looking at the 11th of August 22, the 11th of August 2021 is actually key, because I had a net cost then, or a net deposits of 1,200, but a gallery value of 4,800. So in that 1 year time period, I increased my profits by 400%, 425%, to round it up. So yes, in a 1 year time period, it is absolutely disastrous. And then on the other year before that, it was absolutely fantastic. And this is what I spoke about in my video, Not to Panic. I said, I thought the year of 2021, 2022 was so much euphoria that people were overspending for cars, and the market and the prices went a bit dramatic, really. And I think it did. And now we're seeing the other side of that, because it is important. And so people bring this up with Sorare, where there is Ponzi economics to it, where the more people that join, prices go up. People want to join, prices go up. But it happens the same on the downside, because the more people leave, the more they lose. The more people leave, the more that they lose in value, and more people want to leave. These are completely kind of normal environments, especially in this type of market. These are high risk assets, if you can even call them assets. To be honest, I don't call them assets. They're somewhere between a game and an investment, because they're neither. This isn't just a game because you can win or lose on it, and this isn't an investment because you're playing it as a game. It's this new niche, it's this new NFT gaming criteria, which we haven't actually regulated yet. We don't have an environment of what to call it, or how you treat it. But this is where we're at. A very good 2022 year and an absolutely awful start to 2023. But night. But what I find more important than the numbers is finding out why the numbers happened, or how the numbers happened. And to be honest, this whole last 8 months has been a perfect storm, not just for Sorare, but for the whole economy. This, there's been Sorare issues, there's been world issues. They've merged together into this perfect storm of just absolute negativity. So let me explain a couple scenarios. I'm using Sorare tools to help here, and you can see that on August the 11th, this is when I was talking about, slightly after that, we have card prices decreasing. This is natural as new supply comes on for Champion Europe and all the other European leagues, and more supply, same demand, prices are going to go down. But this was truly accelerated by a decision I absolutely hated at the time, and it was the introduction of the second division clubs in Europe. So this is your La Liga 2s, your Serie B's, your Bundesliga 2s. The reason I hated this decision, and I got an absolute wild amount of hate for hating this, which is fine, people can have their opinions, but there was not enough upside in the decision compared to the downside. The downside was more players, more cards, which weren't bringing more demand. No, not many people are going to join this game to try and get a Levante stack or something like that, right? So we have 5 times 20 teams in the league, let's say, which are pretty much all getting minted or going to be minted at some point in the future, and that's seriously going to put downward pressure when we already had downward pressure on the market. But a lot of people didn't see this because it was too early to actually notice. So I actually sold off some money during that time because I said I wasn't happy. I later came back as things looked slightly rosier than they did. And yes, of course, I regret that. I wish I'd stuck with my morals a little bit more. But, the game is fun to play. I wanted to be involved in it. And as things started to pick up and, Sorare making good business decisions, what I saw in different aspects of the business, I thought, yeah, I should get back to it. And from then, we've had another slide in values. And to be honest, I think the key one, which everyone's seeing now, is of course the launch of the Premier League. And everyone thought the Premier League is going to be so many more players. It opens the door to a whole world of players. Think of how many players play FBL. Think how many players play Sorare. If we just get half of their user base, we'd be on this number. And it made so much sense, but absolutely didn't at the same time, because the key thing which we found now is that when a market's going down, the liquidity is really difficult to sell players. So you're going to list your cards for less, and you're going to get bought out. At the same time, when liquidity does come to the markets, it's going to go to these new Premier League cards, the new shiny ones, and the people selling the new cards are so rare because they get the first 50%, really. So again, a perfect storm, which has just caused these prices to just drop and drop. I completely understand people asking Sorare to cut the auction rates or freeze auctions or kind of manipulate the market a little bit upwards to make things a little bit less painful for users. I completely understand that. And at the same time, I completely understand the need for Sorare to remain liquid, to say that they can fight through any type of market, so they can survive this bear market, they can survive a bull market, and then they can be future ready for the next 10-20 years. That is seriously important. And I am midway between two. I think I lean more to free market, let it happen. The lower it goes, the better the buying opportunities there are. When things turn around, the higher they'll go, and all the rest of it. But I think it's really important to draw the comparisons to the crypto prices, because obviously this isn't a crypto project, but it has crypto links. They're NFTs. You can buy stuff with Ethereum. And the key is, when the whole community, when everyone that plays Sorare has their balance in Ethereum, when Ethereum does well and it goes up in price, like we saw in 2021, reaching a peak of $4,800, right? Everyone's buying power increases because obviously what they're holding is worth more. And then at the same time, when that goes in value, the player prices that are linked to that also kind of creep up in a fiat term. So people don't want to sell them for what they did yesterday, they want to sell them for more. And as the crypto market fell away, and it's important to note, the crypto market fell away mainly because it's a risky asset. And risky assets in a bear market where prices are going down are the worst thing you can hold because they're going to fall the most. And we've seen this. Ethereum, one of the biggest cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, the best cryptocurrency, fell 85%. So if that fell 85%, I can understand why something that's even more risky would fall 115% in my case, or further for someone that's worse, or less further for someone that's better. So what I can say here is that I understand the pain. I know how tough it can be. You can see my numbers on screen now. But I've been through the cycles of positivity where prices can only go up and people are complaining that prices are too high and how can I join the platform? So for me, it is the perfect stage where, if you really believe in this platform and you really want to be here for the next 5 years, advance up. That's, you can see that's exactly what I'm doing. If I look at my net deposits here, over the last couple of months, I'm much more a net depositor than I am a net withdrawer. Even today, a little more in, just to try and push my way up to super rare. That's why I had the super rares open when I came in. Again, I think we have to zoom out and look at this platform and think, has it improved in the year? Let's not look at the prices to determine how the company is doing. The fact Sorare has survived this environment is a massive green tick for me. We've seen other platforms, or not completely similar, but you know what I'm talking about. Those platforms, as soon as something goes wrong, has crumbled, have died. If you have a platform that has had everything go against it and it's still here, it's still improving, that is actually a massive green flag for me. And sometimes in life you get given a second opportunity. For me, it's the chance to get into the super rare division. Obviously, starting off, I didn't want to put too much money into it. Now I've been here for so long. Now I have that confidence. Now we've had a much longer tested time trial. I'm more than happy to put a little bit more to push up to super rares, which just 7 months ago was absolutely unobtainable for me unless I won the lottery. So, yes, maybe I'm slightly more optimistic than anyone else. I completely understand that. I also understand that my risk tolerance is really high. Throughout my years of investing, I've always been a risk high tolerance. I'm a young person, I can make more money in times to come. But this is what I'm just saying. This is just my opinion. Don't get angry at the fact this is my opinion, because it is my true opinion. If I was lying, you would see me withdrawing. I'd leave everything. And to the people that have left, fair play to you. I have absolutely no worries if you're gone. A massive whale goes, I couldn't care less. Another person out the way for me to advance, because I truly believe the platform will be here for 4 to 5 years, and there's going to be massive bumps along the way. And in my opinion, I think this is the most massive bump we'll ever see. We're in the time right now where banks, AAA banks, or some of the biggest companies in the world have gone bust. And Sorare is still surviving. This, NFT, digital cards platform is still surviving. I haven't seen them lay off one person in this. That's how well funded this company is. They keep advancing. And then I think of things like the club shop, and I'm thinking the opportunities involved in that. Then I think of the core fundamental, like, people that are here every day. What would it make them to leave if they wouldn't leave when they've just lost all this, lost all this money, of course? I feel like I might be getting to this stage where I'm ranting here. So a lot of people wanted to see how much money I've lost, and the answer, about £20,000. Does it suck? Absolutely. Do I think this is the end? Absolutely not. I am going to step up. This is my time to try and claim a super rare division, or maybe try and claim a rare pro division. Just small steps. You don't have to double your deposits. Just a little bit here every payday, maybe. However you feel, it's fine. And if you don't want to do that, that's absolutely fine. I see so much negativity recently, and I've been struggling to make a video on it because I don't want hate, and I don't want people to come at me and say, "Oh, you're doing this because Sorare gave you tickets to games, or you're doing this because you want people to get involved and use your affiliate link." I couldn't care less. I'd love playing this game every week, and it's tough to lose money, but it's also not over until you sell. So yeah, that's it for me. I want to talk a little bit about how my teams have done this week, because that's what it's really about for me. All-Star Limited, pretty much a nothing team. Shout out Keith for putting in a big score. Cap 220, didn't care about. Cap 220 rare, I did try something a little bit different. Benedict Pitchler has been injured for about 6 months now. I've seen he's back in training, so I've got a chance of a 0% score. So 0 score, obviously I can use more players than the cap, like Jose Gaia here, who's like a 61 point average, which is just impossible in a 220 lineup. But unfortunately, I think I've gone 1 week too early and he's still out. Thankfully, the team put up a pretty naff score anyway. So yeah, not bothered by that. Cap 270. It really shows you how hard this game is. I'm currently sitting 1,200th. You can put a cap of 270. I hit 354 points. Wow. This is a great team. I got so screwed. LA Galaxy, Jonathan Bond got injured 22 minutes in. I didn't even see what happened, but yeah, it sucks. But, I've got plenty more years to use these cards. Cap 270, awful rare team. I've really struggled with the rare division. I had that really good run to start with, and then I've gone a bit flat. So I've improved a couple of rare players, and obviously you've got to use these cards, and, for a couple of weeks. You can't judge them on 1 week performances. Concern for year A. Why is he putting up 28? I've never seen him put up 28s or 29s. I know he's come back from an injury, but he started. It was a 3-1 win. What was he doing? Anyway, we won't drill down into that. How many times will my Bayern Munich players let me down late with a goal conceded? And this chance, it was also a conceded penalty as well from Upamecano, but we do like him on the channel, so we're not going to abuse him. Messi, Kimmich, you pick which one, please. I keep getting the wrong one. Champion Europe Rare. This is some of the improvements I've just spoke about. Brought in James Madison, brought in Remy Cabella, partner with Dybala, the boy. Jose Jimenez, he's actually just new to the club as well. Really solid price, I think. Julian and Unai Simon are going to switch over, who's ever starting in the game. Tough week this week, but we've got more weeks to use them. Don't care for the common teams. Then we have our under 23s. Business in the front. and nothing in the back. I mean, what is this? Captain 100 Jota to start. Reece James was an absolutely fantastic price. Enzo Fernandez to partner him up in an under 23 team. I'm really looking forward to that as soon as Chelsea hit a bit better form. And then Hugo Cinquet did have a tough fixture, to be fair to him, but he is a killer, I think. Shout out to whoever tipped me for him. And then Gigi Donnarumma. PSG and clean sheets just isn't the one this season. I mean, looking at their back defense, looking at their back three as they started that game, I was like, there is no chance of a clean sheet here, and I was proven right. In the end, then, that's going to leave me with one tier 4 limited, one tier 5 limited, and about 1,400 Sorare coins. It's a pretty bad week. We've done a couple of bad weeks now, have we? Maybe 2 or 3 bad weeks. And you can be dramatic in this game, especially me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to improving on that. We finally got rid of Kevin De Bruyne in the last episode, and at the time he was selling for about £1,400. I've updated a couple of these numbers. You would have seen right at the end. He actually sold for more than I thought. And if we go and check the prices now, this was the one that sold for more than I thought, I think, or maybe this one. He has dropped. He has dropped drastically. He last sold for 0.88, which is a massive win for us. Obviously, it's so stressful getting rid of your best player and then putting up a reasonable score and all the rest of it. But for me, I think we've came out on top here. I've been really struggling to record videos recently. I've been very busy at work. The camera's not been working. There's so many things going on in my life. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Check out my Discord if you do want to be, interact with me a little bit more and you want to ask football questions to a whole group of people that really know what they're doing on Sorare. Besides that, thanks again for watching. Let me know your comments down below whether you agree with me on the whole money situation. Should we just suck it up? Have they gone too far? Should Sorare do anything else? But yeah, in the meantime, all the best to you. Cheers.